Cheap eBay knives. Are they worthwhile or worthless? Let's find out. Hey there, and welcome back to my workshop. Today we're going to look at 6 cheap eBay knives. Now the catalyst for this one was that every knife that I purchased had to be $5 or less. One of them was actually given to me, but I've seen the likes of it on eBay. Now I peruse eBay a lot, and just like any search engine, it has learned from me what I like to see. So it suggests me a lot of things like this. I figured, let's have fun. Now I haven't looked at any of these aside from the one that I have carried around for about a week or so now. So we'll just go at these one by one. What I based this off of was, one, their claim, whether it be tactical, camping, hiking, multi-use. And then my main basis was design. Whether I liked the look of it or the design of it was one of my main points for purchasing the ones that I did. Mainly to have the idea to possibly recreate it myself with better material. But without further ado, let's get into it. I'm going to start here with this little coin knife, mainly because a friend of mine gave this to me. So this technically didn't come from eBay. This was given to me, but I have seen many like it. And you can see it's a little coin, a little bigger than a $50. Well, let's take a look at these tools on the inside here. This little knife I have actually been quite impressed with. It's got a knife here, right there. It's got a file, and then it's got a little pair of scissors. Now, the file isn't worth anything. It's supposed to be like a fine grit on the one side and then a heavy grit on the other. I can't get it to do much, so I thought that part was useless. But this blade has actually been very useful. It's been a lot like a utility knife, and I've carried it for the last week and a half, and I've found it very useful. The scissors actually cut really well too. The only downside of the scissors is they're tiny, so I wouldn't cut a whole lot with it, but they actually cut very well, and I was very impressed with those. So 2 out of 3 tools on that one, I'd say that's a win. Now I've seen ones like this go on eBay for about $1 to $1.50. So if you're looking for one of these, just type in coin knife, you'll find tons of them. Next up here, I have looked at this one, but I have not opened it, so let's open this package right up. Now after I purchased this one, I could see some issues with it. You can see here that closed. It's supposed to be a little keychain too, so you can put a key ring on there, or on a little hole right here. The problem that I had foreseen with this one after purchasing it was that it's got a multi-spanner tool right there, but if you can't tell, you gotta hold on to the knife to use it, so I see that being problematic. I like the design overall. It's got a bottle opener on the one side, so I could see that working pretty well. But let's see how the knife actually works. I'm not expecting much from these being cheap knives. Yeah, it tears more than cuts, but not too bad. It does feel pretty dull, but I think with a nice sharpening it could be pretty useful. So cheap little keychain knife, can opener, and multi-spanner. Not too bad. This one ran me a little shy of $1. Aside from the multi-spanner, I'd say not terrible for $1. With the sharpening, I could see it cutting pretty nicely. You obviously would have to sharpen it pretty frequently. This handle also feels a little flimsy, so I wouldn't go flexing that on too much. Alright, I'll put this, we'll rank them 1 out of 6. So this one will be the lowest position. I'll say this one is pretty useful, so we'll put it maybe in the middle somewhere. What do we got next here? Let's see. Ooh, this one. I really liked the design on this one. That's solely what I picked it off of. It's supposed to look like a little leaf. Now, most of these came from overseas. The big problem with that is shipping, so it takes a while. I actually ordered a different one, and the package got lost in transit. So they ended up refunding me and sending me this one as a replacement, which is actually different than the one I ordered. The one I ordered had a green handle that actually looked like a leaf and was printed, and it had a little green thing on the top part of the blade here so that when you closed it looked like a green leaf. After I ordered it, I had thought about it and thought that plastic piece will get in the way, and I kind of reconsidered my thought on it. But all these little knives run for, you know, between 50 cents and $1.50, depending where you want it, and there's hundreds of these. So if you want this one in particular, it's not hard to come by. You just may have to wait a little while. Initially, it took about 3 weeks before they told me they lost it in transit, and then they expedited this one to me. So this one only took about a week and a half. But aside from that, if you're willing to wait, let's open it up here. Cool little knife. I like the design. It reminds me of an ulu. They claim this to be tactical. I don't see how it could be tactical. The curved blade shape, like I said, reminds me of an ulu, which is a fish scaling knife, or an herb chopper. That's what it's used for mainly over here. In Alaska, they use it for fish, but it's got that nice rocking blade. But I really like the design of this one above anything else. So I would love to try and recreate this one if it is worth anything. But we'll see how it cuts right out of the package. I'd say that's not a bad knife. I could see it being pretty handy. For design, I give it a 5 out of 5. For the knife, I'd say it needs a little tooling, and it would be a pretty nice little knife. So we'll put it right here in the listing. Alright, next up here, another knife from China. These ones from China ended up taking, like I said, about 2 to 3 weeks to show up. So if you're willing to wait, it's not a bad deal. I tend to buy a lot of guitar parts from China. Not electronic parts, but the hard parts. And if you're willing to wait, it's not bad. They're pretty good quality for the most part. And they're cheap, which is the nice part. This box is wanting to give me some trouble. Alright. Oh, another one that claims to be a keychain knife. Most of these claim to be a keychain, although I don't see how this knife could be, unless you put it straight through the middle. But this one right here, it's got a locking clip, which is nice. You don't see that a lot on a lot of cheaper knives, but it's got more of a Tanto or cleaver style blade, which I like the look of a lot. Not everybody likes them, but I do. It's little. I'd say it's about 3 inches. Looks like it was ground the opposite direction, so if you cleaned up the blade, it would look real nice. And it feels pretty sturdy as far as the handle goes. I don't see this coming unlocked anytime soon. And it's got the screws on there, so if you needed to tighten it, which I like the ability to. Rivets don't give you the ability to do that unless you pound it with a ball peen, which I could do, but not everybody feels comfortable doing. But let's see how that blade is. This one cuts better than the last one. I'm actually pretty impressed with that. That has a better blade than all of them so far. Well, I think that this one, oh, it's got a little ring on there. Oh, you can see that hole right in the top there. It's got a hole to put a keychain on. We'll put that in the top of the listing. Alright, I got some of my trash out of here. Next up, the Carabiner knife. Now, I liked it because it kind of looked like a skeleton knife, but it's got a little carabiner there, so you can hook it on your backpack when you're camping. This claimed to be a camping or hiking knife. This one ran about a little over $1. Although this looks like it's plated steel, so I don't know how that blade is going to be. No lock on this one, but it is pretty stiff. It's got a rivet, so I can't really tighten it any unless I pound away at that, but feels pretty sturdy. Real goal's going to be how well that blade cuts. Alright, let's see here, another clean spot here. Not terrible. Yeah, cuts pretty well. I think this might be plated stainless steel, just judging from the look of it. Now, when you're buying Chinese knives, the problem is that the description's not going to tell you a whole lot, because they kind of lump in any term that you could imagine to try and describe what they're selling. So it's like camping, hiking, folding, keychain, and it's just a jumble of words. So it's really hard to tell what is actually going on with some of these, but I don't mind this one. Could be useful. I think we'll put it right about here. So far we got the multi-spanner one last, and the coin one, I say we put third, this one second to last, fourth, and the top so far is this one. I actually like this one a lot. I'm really surprised for a little over $1. Now the last one I expect a lot from, because this was the more expensive one out of the bunch. It was just shy of $4. And this is also a key ring, but it came in this nice neat little case. And it's the only one so far that came in a case. So this one here, little Nano knife. This one has got a little clip here. Oh, it actually doesn't flip out as quickly as I thought. I thought it would be a spring assisted looking at the style of it, but it's a little cleaver style knife. Again, I like the cleaver style knife, but this one's actually got the hole, so it looks like a meat cleaver. I really liked the design on this one. But again, is the blade worth anything? Let's see here. Find a clean spot to cut. Oh yeah. That actually came pretty sharp. You always gotta wonder when you're buying such cheap things. But that cuts pretty nicely, I would say. Yeah, I could find that being very useful. I think this one will go on the top. If you want to search for any of these, you can look on eBay. I just typed in small pocket knife, and most of these came up. I searched by cheapest, and most of these are in the first few pages of the listing. And with that, please like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.